on 3 sub. We're starting off today with this updated Warren Soultrader build that I've been spending some good time working on. So we played so many builds of mono black Phyrexian Tower without the Warren Soultrader combo, more in on Nightmare, less in on Nightmare, and on Grief. Now that card's banned, and with Grief being banned, I've been really wanting to kind of dive back into the archetype and figure out what the best version of the deck is. I still need to do a little bit of a deeper dive back on the blue-black build, although I think that the green-black build is just gonna be better. And so I probably have spent more time playtesting this deck off stream than any other deck in this MH3 meta or this MH3 era, just because there's so we lost Grief. And there are so many ways you can build the archetype, and we've been talking about this archetype on stream a lot. We've had some deck text for it. I have tried being, combo, no combo. 4 Fulminator Mage is the main deck. 4 Nightmare, 0 Ritual, 3 Nightmare, 2 Ritual, 4, like basically every split of the rituals. We've played a lot of builds without Rumble, like at the beginning of MH3 before we realized how good Rumble is. My land count has also changed a lot. I've played anywhere from 21 to 24 lands of this archetype, sometimes playing MDFCs, sometimes not playing MDFCs. And weirdly enough, I've been really happy playing 24. You have a lot of utility lands you're tutoring with Wight of the Reliquary, Bojuka Bog, Nurturing Peatland, Spymaster's Vault, Shifting Woodland, Phyrexian Tower, Mortuary, I guess. And just having I've been really liking 24 lands, which is a lot more than I would usually play this archetype, but somewhere we landed after a lot of playtesting. I was main decking Nethergoyf for a while too, but I just kind of feel like Nethergoyf is a card that only beats down. It's a card that only beats down, and this archetype is so often trying to get incremental slow value. It's a deck that is trying to combo, a deck that's trying to use its synergies, and I felt like Nethergoyf was just a little bit odd in this build. I liked it a lot more in the Grief Scam builds, the mono black Grief Scam builds, but I'm off Nethergoyf for the archetype. Tried Grist, hated Grist. Tried main deck Haywire Mites for a while, so we have so many in the sideboard. Main deck Haywire Mite was something I came really close to wanting, decided to just sideboard them, but they're kind of good against almost everything right now. Against Boros, you're hitting Bombardment, Wandering, Static Prison. You're hitting the Wandering against most decks. You're hitting Talismans against Eldrazi in addition to the Ring. Main deck Mites were pretty good. Just ended up moving them to the sideboard, but I've just spent a long time on this archetype. I've spent a long time. And I've done a lot of losing with builds that were kind of untuned. But yesterday I spent this has been a long period of testing, right? But I finally spent most of my time yesterday on Sunday working on this deck. And the last thing I played at 4-1, and I was really happy with it. And so here we are, finally ready for today. When I donate, do I put my Moxwood link in the comments for review? I don't do deck reviews for donations anymore. I appreciate the offer. We did that just for the charity stream the other day. I haven't done we did paid deck techs. Ooh, I hope they have Scion. We've got Flare of Malice. The first time we've done paid deck techs since before Modern Horizons 2 was yesterday or Saturday for the charity stream. But beyond that, it's just too distracting for the stream. Might as well take our draw step first. Oh, never mind. Should have milled, so we would have maybe had a better chance to hit a land. No, we didn't get the head shape, but we do have 3 Dark Soul streams, a MH3 tier list redo, and a Halloween costume for Lucy to pick out. So I need to. I'll be working on the YouTube video first before I work on the Dark Souls practice, because that one's gonna be a bit faster to knock out. Esther's working on finding some Halloween costumes for Lucy for chat to vote on, and then I want to get 2 practice runs just off stream, just kind of go through the motions before we circle back to the actual attempts on stream. Yeah, but you can do deck text via channel points, J Lambie. I just saw the YouTube clip. I thought I asked. I see. Thank you. Thank you for asking. thought you meant Lucy would choose a hallowed costume for me to wear. Ah, I see. Yeah, I understand completely why you thought that. Ooh, their Discover combo. Let's go. And I don't have a black creature to flare. All right, I forgot that someone mentioned doing Discover combo with Cursed Mirror. We've done this before. I want to see what their win condition is. No, we didn't finish no hit. We were getting very close. I had a personal best of 1 hit. And we were getting really close, but it was also like I was getting like really like frayed. It was like mentally like it was like starting to take a toll on me. But then we also qualified for the Pro Tour, like right towards the end, Pro Tour Barcelona, and I just immediately had no more time for Dark Souls no hit stuff. So this is cool. So they hit a Cursed Mirror, and the Cursed Mirror gives the Appraiser haste, and then they just copy the Appraiser that has haste, so they don't actually need to play any real win cons, it looks like. This is cool. We've worked on Geological Appraiser before, but like figure out the win con was like really tricky. But this looks pretty good, I think. Wait, what is this? Oh, they just stopped the combo so they could kill me? Okay. Flare of Malice also seems very good against them. So I went Haywire Mites for their Leyline Bindings and Leylines. And then I have Flare of Malice for their combo. I could also play Damping Sphere, but that turns off my combo probably a little bit too hard. I think I'll play 1 Fulminator Mage also. Let's shave Gravecrawler number 4, Soultrader number 4, Wight number 3. Maybe Mite number 3. Yeah, Flare could have stopped it, but I didn't have a black creature in play. Yeah, that deck is very cool. I think someone submitted a deck tech like with that tech a few weeks ago. But Cursed Mirror does seem like it solves a lot of the problemos. And I will say Cursed Mirror is very cool too. Right, they have a Leyline. I'm going to play a Blooming Marsh, pass the turn. They have Incubation Incongruity to dig, and then they get to play Leyline Scion. I think I just want to Apprentice this turn because I'm not sure exactly what I want to try to hit off the Rumble. Any idea when the Dusk PowerPoint's coming? Probably this weekend. I think I'm gonna redo the MH3 tier list before I redo the Duskborn PowerPoint. Yeah, they can't have Spell Pierce, so we don't need to worry too much about that. All right, do I want to put Haywire Mite into play, which might cut them off of red mana for their combo? Or do I want to grab a Gravecrawler so I could try to find Warren Soultrader? I think I'm going to grab the Haywire Mite. MH3 tier list, tiering decks or individual cards. So, but yeah, before MH3, we did like tier list of every card, just like pre-evaluation, trying to get our heads straight, trying to organize our thoughts for when the set actually came out, so we'd be able to like, you know, work on our evaluations or whatever and like just start. And so there's been a lot of people asking me to like just redo that video, redo like those videos post MH3 release so that I could do it with like a little bit more clarity, a little bit more retrospect, I guess. All right, so I think they're going to try to go off next turn, right? So if I go Bloodghast, I can go play Bloodghast, sack it to tower, trigger Apprentice, play another Apprentice, make a Servo, play a Peatland, and then look for another Haywire Mite off the Birthing Ritual, maybe. Yeah, the shorts have been really fun to work on. I'm not sure, like, that's also been something we're doing. Right now it's just through the month of September I haven't paid for. I'm working with an editor, but we might continue a little bit. Probably a little less than what we're doing now. Cooldown to 40. Josie with the 24. Happy 2 years. Solomon with the 30. Thank you all so much for the resubs. So now they can no longer cast the Appraiser. They do. They can just start cloning, though, I guess. Where is Apprentice First League? Yeah, we didn't draw it very often. Other shorts just on YouTube. We posted TikTok. They're just on YouTube. I mean, I guess I could just start posting them on TikTok. I don't know if I really want to. I think I want to be able to sack the peatland, so let's do this. So I'm pretty sure they're just going to be toasted, right? Might as well attack with the... Well, they're just going to block. Never mind. So this is... Puts them down to 6, and then the sacking the treasure puts them down to 4. So we'll just put the birthing ritual trigger on the stack since we bricked. Then we find another apprentice for the win. Go to game 3. I mean, the Haywire Mite was like really threatening there. I'm going to cut the Fulminator on the draw. Does seem like their mana is maybe a little shaky. Well, Flare seems really, really premium against them. Let's go ahead and click the keep button. My opponent also kept 7. No leyline this time, though. Well, I was actually thinking that maybe I made a mistake by surveilling instead, because I drew this Mite. Maybe I was supposed to go Mite into Ritual. But putting Gravecrawler in the yard means that this was definitely the right play. Yeah, Deadbing Sphere stops their combo, but it also stops ours. And we also just have Flare of Malice as like a 0 mana stop your combo. So I don't think we really need Damping Sphere. Damping Sphere is mostly for Storm and Titan, 2 bad matchups that you just kind of need those premium 1 mana stops. What are the mana restrictions in the deck? Why would they need Leyline? So when I say mana restrictions, they're playing a lot of MDFCs. Just like last game, like they're playing a lot of MDFCs, so their mana wasn't like that functional without Leyline. So killing, like, once we got rid of the Leyline with Might, their plan of casting Appraiser, the double red spell, fell off. Not that that will always be the case, of course. Do treasures draining mean that this combo can win in response to split second effects? I guess in theory, but like part of the combo is casting Gravecrawler most of the time, so there'll be like times to respond. But yeah, you can sack treasures in response to split second. I think we're gonna wait a turn probably on the Soultrader. See what we mill for Nightmare also. We milled an extra Bloodghast and 2 Gravecrawlers. So I think I want to play around Leyline Binding on my Birthing Ritual by just playing this Haywire Mite and leaving the green up. We ended up 2-3 in the last league. It was a pretty rough one, though. A lot of mana flood. A lot of opponents drawing pretty well. So the plan is to get 24 haste turn 4. Yeah, roughly. I think they can do... It depends on like how early did they hit a Cursed Mirror versus all of their other clones. Okay. So I don't have another Surveil land, so just get a Overgrown Tomb. So in response to Discover 3, we're going to Flare. Hopefully they hit a Glass Pull Mimic and they don't get to copy anything. Might as well sack the Supplier. They hit a Cursed Mirror, so they do get to cast that one. And they get a hasty Bloodghast. Now, I do actually think they have Leyline Binding in their hand, the way that they like paused after I played the Haywire Mite and then decided to Boseiju, so I'm not gonna block. I might have blocked had that not happened. Alright, so we gotta take the swamp here. Then attack for 5. Then we'll go sack both Bloodghasts. Play a swamp, bring back 3 Bloodghasts. Nightmare. Then we'll bring back the Stitcher Supplier, trying to mill over a Marionette Apprentice to combo off with. Okay, I didn't see an Apprentice hit the yard, but we can go ahead and sack the Supplier for 3 more looks. There it is. Less than a singleton of each herb organ Cabal coffers. Fetch with White Seek Mana to Nightmare. The problem is Cabal coffers is just way too bad to draw. And it seems like you only really have that mana sink if you have Nightmare, which we're only playing 2 of right now. What's the advantage of this deck over Yawgmoth? Lower mana curve, Flare of Malice, turn 3 combo that Yawgmoth like desperately wants, in my opinion. I'm gonna try this one. GG Donuts. We actually beat Yawgmoth earlier. Flare of Malice is very good against them. Flare of Malice also very good against Through the Breach. Flare of Malice also good against Demir Frog. Just good. What happened to Daybreak Gun? I still have it. I just am using this for leagues because we need QPs. I use the Daybreak account to off-stream test, and then I'll play it when new sets release so I can get access to the cards. And I've also been playing. All right. Well, if we can dodge a Spell Snare, we're gonna be really happy. I've also been playing the Daybreak account. I think I'm gonna start. I'm gonna play. When I'm playing in a tournament, I'll use the Daybreak account for leagues so that I'll be able to, I guess I should have attacked first because now they might push. I'm just actually happy if they push this. Never mind. So I use the Daybreak account for leagues so that I can not worry about accidentally dropping and I can just like switch decks in between leagues real quick. What is this doing? Are they like a Basim list? So we'll go Bloodghast, sack to Flare, Bog. I put a Wight into play. Right, another Fatal Push. So Supplier. Maybe I should have rumbled. Sorry, I should have rumbled first because now I can't cast a Wight. Then I find off Rumble. Then I think we go for Soultrader over Apprentice. Although I can cast the Apprentice this turn. I guess we'll do that. It's also maybe a more minor thing. But I can, it's probably a bit better to Shifting Woodland copy the Warren Soultrader than it is to Shifting Woodland copy Marionette Apprentice. little bit worried about Nile Spellbomb. I'm kind of confused that Urza Saga is just over here. Not sure like what their archetype is exactly. A third color has entered the chat. And so good news is I have my combo, but I can't combo at instant speed because I can't cast the Gravecrawlers right now. Yeah, Flare is just so good. Like, so like one thing is I see it whenever like we're doing deck techs for this, I very rarely see people playing Flare in the main even. A lot of times it's, if they are playing in the main, it's like 1 or 2. And for me, when I was like testing this deck like yesterday and like lately, it's like I just feel like I'm never drawing Flare enough. I feel like so often I'm like, well, if I just had a Flare in this draw, I was gonna win this game. And then the games I do draw Flare, I'm like usually really happy. So I certainly recommend playing a bunch of them in this archetype. Okay, can we beat Agorios? We can't really pay any life. Not really looking so good. Okay. Looking for a Wight of the Reliquary off this Bloodghast. Also, again, oh, if I had Flare there, we're just like laughing all the way to the bank. Again. I think I'm gonna grab another Supplier. Maybe I guess another Bloodghast might have been better. Is there a way to win with a combo down in life? No, we just kind of pivot into value deck. By leaving in Flare against Boros, yeah, it's just kind of nice to have like a 0 mana way to like catch back up on board against them. And a lot of times, like you'll go like Wight on turn 2, and they'll target the Wight with a removal spell, and then you'll I guess I should probably Flare here, right? You'll target the Wight with a removal spell, and then you'll that kind of like catch back up on board a little bit. So I guess we're just wanting to draw a land to bring back the Bloodghasts. Okay, well that was what I asked for. Now we're hoping to hit a Wight of the Reliquary. We do have 4 of those here. Spike forgot to read. What did I forget to read? I do think I should have got Bloodghast instead of the Supplier. So see if they have a Shadow Spear. Probably not. Probably did the Shadow Spear. You have 2 Wights in the graveyard. Yeah, did I say that or no? I thought I said that. Would ever consider Grist? I tested Grist. I think Grist is just bad in Modern now. I think that if I was going to build Yawgmoth, I would probably play 1 Grist as a Court of Calling target. And like maybe 2, but probably just 1 copy. I think Grist is good. It's good against like Dimir Frog. We were talking about this the other day. I think it's good against like exactly Dimir Frog. Oh, sorry. I should have sacked this into turn. Caught me monologuing. Wouldn't have been able to cast the second Bloodghast anyways, though. So there's a Wight. Put us down to 5 life also. I'm gonna have to go chump block one of these though. 12/12. Alright, so we get to force a chomp. This is quite the turnaround. Yeah, Grist is very bad against energy. It's like not even that good against Jeskai. Like Discharge cleans it up so well. It's so slow against Jeskai. Straight, yeah. I don't know that it is good in any matchup. So now, sorry, I milled my Bojuka Bog, so I don't actually have the second Goria's installation I would necessarily want. Yargle, so they probably are Cragwick cremating. Although they don't have a second red mana right now. That might be what they're missing. Yeah, let's go ahead and I think we just sack Bloodghast for Bloodghast, and then when we tap our Wight of the Reliquary, we can get another. We get to bring back both Bloodghast via landfall. No, interesting they didn't decide to not sack this food token. I don't know why they wouldn't. Yeah, pretty exciting that we are probably gonna just win this game. It's maybe a little early to say that. Things are looking good. I think I'm gonna get a Phyrexian Tower here. Nice. Shout out Birthing Ritual. Grist okay against Frog Titan. Grist is very bad against Titan, I think, but it is good against Frog. I think Frog is the one matchup where Grist is like a card you're happy to have in your deck, which is just like I'm just off of it. Okay, so let's bring in these Haywire Mites, I think. The Endurances for the Gorios. Kind of a lot of slots, I guess. I will say that Cremator's probably scary for us. Do some trim in here. They're going to be bringing a lot of Graveyard Hate, so maybe we just want to cut the Nightmares. Yeah, sweet game. I'm going to use Restroom Beer back.
It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spymaster. What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spymaster.
Well, Flare of Malice, very good against the Goryo's Emrakul deck. Let's keep Adelphia. Could the Overlord of Baelmerk? let me read that one, I guess. Still haven't done my deep dive. Yeah, which one is that one? Let's get our Surveil going. Grist is really good in grindy matchups, but it's not really a grindy format at the moment. So I don't know. You say this too. Grist is really only good in the grindy matchups. It's not a grindy format, but it's like Boros is pretty grindy. Jeskai is pretty grindy, but it's just kind of bad against those decks. I don't know. Saw with the 57. Thank you. Welcome back. I might be like a little nitpicky about this, I guess. Let's play the Wight. Dimir Frog isn't grindy. So, I mean, that is the one matchup in Modern where Grist is good. But yeah, it is also grindy. I don't know. It's just like... I don't know if it's just that the power level of formats got better, or like Grist is really good in like really slow incremental games where it's like hard for one player to get on board really fast. I don't know. I'm probably just like buzzwording a little bit too much. It's just like Grist just ain't the card it used to be. I miss Tomb of Rami Rakdosak because that's still something you can put a couple wins. I mean, maybe I will say that like Grist and Fury were like really, or so Grief and Fury were really important for the sack deck. So they nerfed our baby too much, maybe. Sawa, thank you for the raid. Sorry I missed that. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome everybody from Sawa's stream. Hope you had a good one. All that stuff. Can I attack with my Wight this turn? I don't think I want to. It's just like a little bit too much of a headache. Oh, can we get a mod to re-enable the deck tech channel points? I forgot to re-enable them. Thanks for reminding me, Stride. Thanks, 4 dogs. Yeah, so why don't we just go block. Make our opponent discard a card. Then we'll sack this to Flare, and we'll sack this to the Wight. I say the new Grist would be unplayable. So yeah, we tried new Grist in this shell. It is not very good. I could see it being somewhat playable though. Do I want to get a Woodland? I guess I'm not going to quite have Delirium, huh? I probably just want to grab Spymaster's Vault with the Warren Soultrader in my hand. And I'll sack this to a Flare. And they sack the one that was not blocked by the Marionette Apprentice. Then they draw no cards. I award you no points. Oh, sorry, I should have left Peatland Spymaster's Vault up. Or maybe just Spymaster's Vault Black Source. I guess Peatland's right, because I have to tap the Peatland first if I don't. Or I guess I could have played the Forest. GG's Pogo. Yeah, your deck is awesome. If you want to post your link, Pogo, I'd love to take a look. I thought it looked really, really good. How does live payment for Peatland come up? I mean, most times you draw it, it's like a relevant part of the game. But I've been liking to have these as like just like tutor targets off the Wight, a little bit of flood insurance. I'm in general like not that big a fan of Peatland, but I have been liking it here. I think I'm just gonna take this hit also. I might be putting myself like too cold to Cragwood Cremator, but okay, I like that draw. Four. Yeah, so if they Cragwick and Yargle in their hand, we're gonna die. They just discard all the non-dose cards. Seems like that's what they have. Do I have any way to beat this? Not really, right? Yeah, they're gonna just kill me with Cremator post-combat. Maybe it's just Emrakul. Maybe I go to 1. Nope. Yargled. Okay, game 2. Okay, so game 3, rather. Let's play the 4th Wight on the play. We'll go down in Endurance. I think we have the Flares for the Goryo's Insurance. 3 Endurance kind of felt like a lot. Okay, so here's Pogo's Appraiser deck that we played against last round. Gab, thanks for the raid. Hope you're doing well today. We played against this Pogo list here. The idea is you go Appraiser, and then once you hit a Cursed Mirror, then all your images in Glasswell Mix can copy the one with Haste, which allow you to either win the game immediately or at least flood the board for a lot. Zero Subtlety in the 75 is probably wrong, despite me not really liking Subtlety very much at the moment. It's okay. We're playing Warren Soultrader and Gab with the 55 months. Thank you, homie. We're playing against Yargle, Cragwood, Cremator, Goryos with a pretty floody hand, but it's pretty hard to mulligan to like Rumble, Soultrader in general. I'm just going to keep, I think. Maybe should have surveilled turn 1, but keeping our life total like above 20 can be pretty nice when they're trying to cremate Yargle-us. Flare of Malice is a very nice pickup. Very good against Goryos Emrakul. I guess I'll grab the Bog. Well, We'll grab Gravecrawler, I think, to be better against the graveyard hate spell of theirs. I don't think I need the extra land, and like Sorcery Speed Bog is just not very good. I think this deck's been pretty good. I've been testing it a lot off stream and been liking it. Our first league didn't go that well, though. Yeah. I might play Subtlety over Dead Gone, I guess. Not sure. Now, they haven't showed us a Bowmaster yet. I think I'm going to sack the spawn token so that I'll be able to surveil. Let's try out the deck tech. Sack synergies with Roots. Well, I used to be Roots #1 fan. I have since become Roots #1 hater. Okay, they are playing Bowmaster. I'm just gonna go to main phase, I think, get the gas back. It's just kind of a tall order to play Insidious Roots in the in a format with Wrath Disguise. Kind of sad to graveyard this, but can't really use it, so let's graveyard it. If it was Spymaster's fault, we're happier. I will say that, like, the next time I wanted to return to Roots, I wanted to play Psychic Frog. I thought that was a pretty cool synergy. Dude, Stone of E-Reach, that's a nasty card to have to play against. I will also say that I never really liked, like, before, I never liked to play Roots in a deck that didn't play, like, Cookbook Asmo, or because it's just like, I don't like that you can't, like, trigger Roots the turn you play it. I think it's an issue. It's not the biggest issue ever. Let's hold up the Hardcast Flare in addition to the endurance, and then I don't think I want to trade Bloodghast for the Bowmaster just yet either, especially because there's a good chance we get to block the Bowmaster with our endurance this turn. I would play Flare of Malice over Fatal Push in this deck for sure. Z's. I'd probably play 4 Flare of Malice. It's just like so important in like this through the breach metagame. It's just like, I feel like it just does so much. Just much better than push in your deck. This doesn't look like a very good Nightmare deck either. Forsaken Miner looks really bad. I think. I get that it triggers Roots. I just don't like that card so much. Anything else? I don't know. Yeah, I feel like you have to incorporate Cookbook Asmo into your deck. I don't know. Again, I don't know exactly how I would do that, but that's what I would try to do. All right, we have Flare of Malice for Goryo, so we don't need to sandbag this endurance forever. We also have to figure out a way to win through the stone, and attacking is a good way to win in Magic the Gathering occasionally. Bloodghast triggers at the turn you play it often enough. I mean, not often enough. It only triggers at the turn on turn 2 if you suppliered over it or surveilled it into the yard. But on turn 3 it can, sure. Turn 3 is pretty slow. Just kind of yapping, I guess, but I just kind of also think you have no good matchups with Roots is maybe a small way to summarize the problem. So my opponent still has the stone. Just like feels like I'm watching Infinity War right now. 2 damage to each non-vampire creature. Do I want to sack a treasure token for a damage? Let's not, I guess. I think I'm still saving this flare for Goryo's. Happy enough to make this trade. Although I guess, sorry, it wasn't a trade if they just tapped a cookbook, but ended up being a trade. Oh, Bloodghast is a vampire. That I didn't even realize that this is a vampire for. Okay, my opponent discards a cremator, which is weird. Oh, then they just play another cremator. Sure. All right, do you have a Yargle as your last card again? Yeah. Okay. Fun match. Well, I'll take a turn 3 combo. Would not mind having won this die roll instead of losing it. Another energy matchup. Good chance I just want to flare. Slow them down here. We draw a land, we can still combo turn 3. Is Demonic Tutor Delirium good? It's not great. I think it's kind of cool that you know, we've been working on a Delirium-based combo deck for a little bit with Shifting Woodland, right? And so you're already wanting to get Delirium there, and you just happen to also like be playing Gristlebrand in that shell. And so it's cool that the card does something without Delirium because you play a Gristlebrand. Is it going to be is that card actually going to be like a good way to build the archetype? I don't know, but I think I think that you could try to build that deck as let me see what we draw here. All right, let's try to rumble into a land, and then maybe go Nightmare, get back Apprentice. But yeah, you could maybe build a green-black based version of that deck compared to the green-red version we were playing. That's all we can deck like this. Well, have I considered Birthing Ritual? Have I considered Birthing Ritual in this deck? There are Birthing Rituals in this deck, yes. We have 2 of them. Cast Fable, cast Blood Moon. Cast Guide of Souls. I guess they don't want to do that first. Okay, GG. Whenever I'm playing against Boros, it just feels like so often I'm just dying for them to cast Fable of the Mirror Breaker on any of their turns. So yeah, for every 1 life we pay, our opponent loses 2 life because they lose a life from the Gravecrawler being sacked and 1 life from the treasure token. Once our Boros opponent figures that out, they'll concede. Right, and it was right now. Okay, so against them, I've been... Okay, so I basically always cut 1 Warren Soultrader and 1 Gravecrawler for 2 Fatal Push, and then I want between 2 and 3 Haywire Mites for their Rings, Moons, Prisons. And I think let's just drawing 2 on the draw again. 2 or 3. I'm still not really decided. Well, let's give this one a go. Yeah, Ring also. Tap land we love. I'll keep that one on top. I'm playing Rumble over Unearth. Okay, so Rumble is like a very non-negotiable card for me for this deck. If I'm going to play this archetype, I'm going to always have 4 copies of Malevolent Rumble. No conversation beyond that. Okay, I want to get this so I can get a forest to beat Blood Moon. That like Rumble is it's not a conversation of to play 4 Rumble or not. You must play 4 Rumble. I think Chthonian Nightmare is better than Unearth. I also really don't like that Unearth is like kind of only a card that you're happy to draw if you also... Hold on, sorry, what do I want to do this turn? I think I want to go Apprentice Wight. Like Rumble, like Unearth is only a card that you're happy to draw on curve in some games if you draw Supplier or Rumble. So I'll say that like if you do play Unearth, you must also play 4 Rumble. It's not Unearth or Rumble. You must play 4 Rumble. I think Unearth is like just a little inconsistent. I would play more like the third Nightmare before the first Unearth, probably. But I might be a little low on Unearth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what these Boros players are doing sometimes. Ever had a deck where you want a 4 rumble, 3 cash grab, was always 4/4 if you want cash? I was playing 4/3 when we played the Woodlands deck that we top 8'd with. Although I think that I would rather play the 4th cash grab over the 4th Seed of Hope. Seed of Hope is 1 mana, but cash grab just sets just like immediately like Delirium. It just sees like it's just 2 extra cards. It's so good. Maybe just a misclick on the keep, right? So what's cool here is if they kill my Apprentice with a discharge, a second discharge doesn't kill my Wight because it now is a 5/5. Land number 2. So I think we're just gonna go cast Bloodghast, cast second Wight. Could push that later just when I get the second Wight in play. Nick with the 23 months. Hope you're doing well. Am I happy with the 2 just web Nightmare Ritual? I am, yeah. I spent a long time on the like numbers. I've tried basically every split, and 2/2 has been feeling pretty comfy for me at the moment. I think it's very hard to ever feel like you have this archetype like completely correctly built, but yeah, I'm relatively content with the numbers. All right, so let's just see what they choose to sack to this Flare. Kind of, it's probably going to be the Amped Raptor. Can I actually? I guess I could just present lethal. I guess it's just going to be better for me to kill the priest. I don't think I need to care that much about this Ajani. But I also just get to wait. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'm like punting a little bit by not using Spymaster's Vault here though. Because I could do something like push the Containment Priest, sack a Haywire Mite to the Phyrexian Tower, sack the other one to a Wight, bring back the Bloodghast, sack the other Wight, and then I'll be able to connive for a lot. I guess I could still connive for a lot and push the Ajani instead. No, sorry, I have to lose this. This is at the very least a very fun line. So let's grab Woodland and then the Peatland. Kind of want to leave it in the yard for more damage, but let's bring it back instead. The rare no return. I think you're supposed to return. I think it's just better to have it in play so it doesn't get exiled. Like we want to keep like sacking it to both Wights if possible. Comes to Spymaster and the opponent having target removal, do I activate it even when only connives for 1? Sometimes I think that, you know, questions like this are like kind of just too technical. Like there will be some times where it's right and sometimes where it's wrong to sack. Oh, you know what? Maybe I didn't realize how close we were going to be to lethal. I mean, putting the 1 versus 2 is not so different though. We can Woodland copy Apprentice next turn. Oh, sorry, and I missed the Gravecrawler cast. Oops. Probably can't lose, though. Yeah, but it's just going to be situationally dependent, of course, right? Amped Raptor into Soul Guide Lantern. I can't believe it. Just like... just the perfects. Just the perfects. Although now my opponent has punted by not activating main phase. Like, kind of just like, I don't necessarily want to call it fringe playable, but Urza Saga is at an all-time low in Modern, for sure. It is like too slow against combo, bad against Jeskai, too slow against Boros a lot of the time. They're main decking all these Blood Moons. And also Urza, a colorless land in a deck that is trying to play a green-black 2-drop is a bit awkward as well. A 1-mana creature next turn would be nice. Yeah, you can play it in Saga. You can play it in some like Bad Brews. That's kind of it. Ooh, Apprentice Mirror. Supplier, best draw. And because I have the Nightmare, I can kind of comfortably afford to sack this into like an Apprentice or something. Or I guess, yeah, I'll sack it into another Trader. Doesn't do a lot, right? Okay. I guess I accept them doing nothing. So here, I think I'm going to go just main phase, sack. Funny how like F6 my opponent is here. No Gravecrawler for next turn, but I'll take a Wight of the Reliquary. Wight can be an instant speed Bojuka Bog to break up my opponent's combo. Not that they had a Gravecrawler in their hand last turn. They would need second Soultrader already in hand plus top deck Gravecrawler. The amount of times you say X is against play equals Wrath of Skies make you wonder if Wrath is problematic, or I guess Unearth also. Yeah, I mean maybe. Like I would say that, you know, a lot of people hate the Wandering. The card that for me like feels like it's suppressing the most in Modern is Wrath of Skies. As someone who is brewing a lot of decks, yes, there are a ton of decks where I'm just like, they don't want to like try to Spymaster's Vault at all. Yes, but yes, there are a lot of decks where I just like don't work on them because of Wrath of Skies existing. Well, we have our combo. Other than Jeskai who's playing Wrath much. Goryo's plays it in the sideboard, but it is mostly Jeskai, but Jeskai is, you know, one of the more popular Modern decks, has been for the whole time, and it's just like the thing about Wrath of Skies kind of compared to other cards that are good against decks in Modern is it's like, if you're playing a deck that is very weak to Wrath of Skies and your opponent if all they have to do is draw one Wrath of Skies over the course of like 6 or 7 turns and you like almost can't win. It is the dynamic is like very extreme, I think, compared to just like, you know, in general other times there are cards that are impactful, if that makes sense. I milled 2 Bloodghast here. Unless you counter it. Yeah, but if you're playing a deck that's weak to Wrath of Skies, it's very difficult for you to also be playing counter spells. Obviously, it's possible. But that's what I'm saying. It's like your opponent just has to draw 1 copy and you like lose the game. And like it's difficult for you to have a lot of counterplay to it compared to other times opponents are main decking cards that are good against you. Is Wrath bannable? It's too early to talk about probably, but I think that Wrath is like, is my least favorite card of Modern, probably. And the way that it just like is so restrictive. But would I ban it right now? I don't really like to talk about bans too much. I think bans are way too talked about for the most part. Isn't this deck weak to Wrath? I don't think so. This deck has a ton of graveyard recursion, right? We have your Gravecrawler, Bloodghast, Nightmare deck. I think you're pretty resilient to Wrath. Wrath isn't like bad against you. It's good against you, but it isn't just like win the game if you draw it levels. I don't think I want to bring in Haywire Mite. I don't know if I want to bring in... I mean, they're playing on Earth, so endurances seem certainly reasonable. I'm sure... Let's play more than 0 endurance. I don't know if I can find the cuts. I mean, they're going to be bringing in removal, so like my Wights might be not that good, but I mean, Wight is just also... They don't have that much removal in general. Let's maybe trim 1. Let's plan to trim 1. Where did my other Fatal Push go? Oh, it's up here still. Is Dryad Arbor bad in this deck? It's bad if you draw it. It's good if you tutor it, like usual, when it comes to Dryad Arbor. Yeah, I'll try to play like just a grindier game. How much did you raise on Charity of Saturday? 2,700, I think, which is awesome. Very excited about that. Colony Garden. Colony Garden, again, bad to draw, good to tutor. Bojuka Bog has been really premium for me. I don't know about these other ones, y'all. These are the kind of cards that you like lose a lot of games because you draw them. When you tutor them, you get some like small incremental value. I'm only playing 4 fetch lands also when it comes to Dryad Arbor. Gotta keep that life total high. I'm not going to DC, no. Is Rumble better than Grizzly Salvage? Yes, it is. I know that they find all the same permanents, but like putting a creature into play is like insane in this kind of deck. So I mill over an Apprentice for my Nightmare. There you got to surveil Bloodghast in the yard. Not the worst turn 2 I've ever seen. I want to go Nightmare this turn so that I can fill the yard a bit more. There's an Endurance. It's interesting. Might have been actually good to make this a 2-3 against all these 2-1s, but I don't know. I basically never do that. Salvage doesn't get Nightmare Ritual. Oh, it doesn't hit enchantments, right? For some reason I was thinking of Commune with the Gods, so I could get all of them. Yeah, but not getting enchantments is also a big deal. I think Rumble may be good with Anviltron and replacement of Scrying. Yeah, I also had that. I don't know if I don't know where I'm at with Anviltron. Yeah, I would play Rumble. Like, you get to fill up the yard for your Retrievers and stuff. Go ahead and Bullock one of these. If they want to use the mana, that's okay. Maybe I'm like playing into the Spymaster's Vault too much if they're like a little flooded though. The combo, if you have Apprentice plus Gravecrawler plus Warren Soultrader, you get to deal your opponent 2 damage for every 1 life you pay. Yeah, I'm not playing Bowmaster. Bowmaster's obviously a good modern card and synergistic in the stack, but I think it's worse than all the other 2 drops. And there's just like too many 2 drops in general. A big Gravecrawler. Can I mill Bloodghasts? No, but I can mill the combo. Although, looks like I'm a card short here. Because I can Nightmare the Supplier into a Warren Soultrader. But then I can't start the loop without sacking my Apprentice. And obviously I need my Apprentice, right? So I guess we just play our second Apprentice out and try to go for it next turn. I do need to be worried about my life total, but with double Apprentice in play, I don't need to be that worried about it. I haven't watched a lot of Modern lately, but has Ugin's Lab seen a lot of play? Yeah, no, Ugin's Lab is one of the best cards in Modern. Through the Breach is arguably the best deck in the format. Tron variants are very good too. Yeah, Labyrinth is... Yeah, Ugin's Lab is one of the best cards in Modern. Okay, so they get to do loop with the Trader with Spymaster's Vault. Let's see what they have here. Didn't leave up Revolted Fatal Push. Wait, they're conniving now? Seems aggressive, but maybe they just already have... No, wait, they wouldn't be conniving if they just already had their Apprentice, though. Did you ever feel like Wight was too slow? I mean, sometimes, I guess. Wight isn't always the best possible card, but, like, Wight is very, very good in this deck, and I think it is better in this deck than Bowmaster. It is slow, yeah, sometimes. I thought Through the Breach was a beam deck still. I don't know why you think that. It's like incredibly good against Boros. It's like a big mana deck that just like wins through Blood Moon because of Through the Breach. It's incredibly fast, incredibly resilient, incredibly consistent. I think you can make a very good argument that Through the Breach is the best tournament deck in Modern. I think it has very few weaknesses. So they hit Boggart Trawler, which is a big problem. So like a Chad will just draw Warren Soultrader. Seems fair. Through the Breach has put up pretty awful win rates and challenges the last 2 weeks. I guess I could be wrong, obviously, but I just think the deck is so impressive. I think the deck is incredible. My opponent says XD. I'm just going to show them that I already had Gravecrawler in hand. Alright, let's get a 4-1 prediction going. Okay, on the draw against the Gigantha, we're going to keep this one. I've not won that many die rolls this league. Say up against Mardu. Graveyarding an Amtraptor, likely needs lands. Soultrader tier 1.5. I think it's like 1.3. Well, Soultrader's a good deck. I think it's a little underexplored. I don't typically believe in tier 1.5. Tier 2, I guess. Ginger said it was tier 3 on stream. You want to beat him. I mean, the tier system is very abstract. So typically, I would say, again, we haven't had this discussion in a while, so we'll have it, I guess. But typically, I would view tier 1 decks as the format-defining archetypes of the metagame. At the moment, this is like Energy, Through the Breach, Storm. I feel like I'm forgetting like the whole metagame. Jeskai. I don't know if I would say Titan or Goryo's yet. Titan or Goryo's may just be examples of tier 2 decks that are like well positioned in this metagame. Oh, Murktide, yeah, Dimir Murktide is the other big one. And then it's like tier 2, and then in my mind usually everything else is tier 2 or tier 3, right? And so I would usually classify tier 2 decks as decks that are not the tier 1, like the metagame defining ones. Tier 2 are decks that are like good in the metagame. That are defined by the tier 1 decks, and tier 3 decks are decks that are bad at the metagame, defined by tier 1 decks. So I think that ends up for me being a pretty good way to think about it. But I think everybody just kind of has a different way to think about it. Jessica's not really anywhere though. See, that's like... That's true. Like it's tough to say right now because the metagame is very in flux. I agree. There's a lot of things changing pretty quickly, and so like, you know, when Grief was legal, Jeskai tier 1 deck, has it fallen off from tier 1? Is it going to come back? I don't know, but I agree. I think it is. You could have a hard time defining what is tier 1 in Modern right now, and I think I am also. Okay, likely missing their 3rd land drop. Yeah. I'd like to save the Bojuka Bog for Flage if possible. Let's go ahead and just play Apprentice out. Is Scales tier 3? I would say Scales is tier 3 because it exists in that other category and exists in the other category while not being good, like good against the field, I think. Yeah, I would say Jeskai is a super popular RCQ deck and not that popular of a Magic Online deck. I'd argue it's also a useless thought exercise. Alex, the 19 months, thank you, welcome back. How do you feel about Sideboard Plague Engineer? It's like okay, I guess. So we could block like block like this to play around second Bowmaster the best. Just guy suck spike, skill issue. Hate to report, skill issue. A little flooded here.
What's up? It's me, your friend.
Xerox, 100 bits. Hit another Johnny. Let's go to game. Let's get skill issue in the game too. Is Palm worth running over Charmal for breach decks in my opinion? The thing is, Charmal has a lot of extra splash damage. Like you can bring in against Tron and Titan. Through the Palm is pretty narrow, you know. I think Raw Farm is a little too bad. I did consider it. I think I'm pretty happy with my utility land split. What about Endurance? Endurance is kind of okay. And I don't really want Haywire Mite so much against Mardu, because they don't play Moon or Ring that often, so let's just run it like this. How do you feel about Domain Rhinos? There were 2 of them in the 8 decks of the Mox. I didn't see that. I didn't look at the Mox lists. I've been saying basically since Violent Outburst got banned that like Rhinos would probably pop up and like win a tournament, but since then that hasn't happened. How did it do at the Mox? Jerry T was talking about Boros Garrison and Energy, which seems sweet. Interesting. Jerry always has like really sweet like techie one-ofs. Right, let's mulligan. Okay, I'm gonna keep this. I really want to go Gravecrawler into Birthing Ritual here. Those new rare duels just weren't playable modern. I mean, yeah, I think they're playable. I think that they are going to be better than fast lands in some decks, but fast lands are kind of fading from modern in general, right? Where fetch lands have just become so buffed that it's, you know, pretty often that you just want to play fewer fast lands than you would have previously. I'm playing a lot of fast lands in this deck because I care about my life total being higher. Two of? I don't know what this is asking. It just is going to depend. Modern is a very confusing format. There's always a lot going on. And I think it can be frustrating for players who are kind of always looking for like heuristics for stuff. Oh, brutal wear tear, dude. I think players are oftentimes looking to learn. They're looking for heuristics, and they're looking for like, you know, meaning, and they're looking for like a guide, like do this then, you know, to play 2 of these lands in this deck. But modern is just it's just a little bit too abstract of a format, I guess, is the way I would put it. It's like the answer to like basically every single question in modern is it depends. I have to take the land over the Supplier. I was trying to fill my graveyard a little bit so my Wight could be a 4 toughness creature when I play it. Yeah, I remember Jerry T's list was really juicy. I saw Jerry won a RCQ. So Jerry's playing 2 Ragavan, 1 Bombardment, 1 Unstable Amulet, 2 Skyclaves, 2 Moon, 3 Rings, 2 Chain, 1 Static Prison. Now I'm kind of confused a little bit about like the main deck change over the prisons, where I really like that like prison can like snag Ring, Talisman, Amulet, Ruby Medallion. And I personally like feel like the energy drain is, I mean, it's not nothing, but I think the upside of hitting those is really important. But I'm just kind of yapping. Look at all these 1-0s on the sideboard too. I know like Dingo likes to play a lot of Boros Charm, or sorry, not Boros Charms, Change the Rocks instead too. Skyclip tags all those well, they won't get, but yeah, that I think that is probably exactly what Jerry's thinking. All right, let's push the guide. Jerry felt like they were a liability because he likes because you couldn't generate energy beyond guide. I mean, you also have Amped Raptor and Galvanic Discharge, but I guess those aren't like pure energy generators, right? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sack the Gravecrawler to get back Supplier in an attempt to have my Wight unkillable here. They have a second Wear Tear though. Okay, well, let's play around no 1-mana removal spell. I don't want to. So we can attack with the Gravecrawler, and then they block. Then my Wight's a 4/4, but then they have an active Ajani, and if you just have a red permanent, such a pain. Not saying I just wasted a podcast. Yeah, I mean, I think that is the argument, and again, I'm not like a Boros Energy main, so like my opinion on like Boros Energy matters less than someone who is like grinding it a lot, like Dingo or presumably Jerry or anybody in the chat. But yeah, I'm just yapping. That's what we're here to do. Bounce some ideas off of each other. This is good. Yeah, I don't think I would play Boros Garrison and Boros. I mean, I guess you get to play a card that says Boros in your Boros deck. But yeah, I would be off of it, I think. 2 cards in our opponent's hand. Why are Garrison's good in Boros Energy? So I think the theory behind Boros Garrison, and you know, I don't want to paraphrase Jerry too much or assume too much, but I would imagine the idea is that your deck is mostly 2-drops, right? And so a lot of times you're going to go turn 2, play a 2-drop, turn 3, just play another 2-drop. And so Garrison is kind of good because it basically gives you an extra card. If you go 2-drop into 2-drop Garrison, draw an extra card, and then you are more easily able to curve out into the ring on turn 4. That would be my assumption as the like technical argument. But maybe I'm you know, just yapping. Well, can't be too bad upset about that draw. They're gonna cycle the spell bomb end of turn though. Yeah, you can also pick up, you know, Aether Hub and Heart Parlor. Some little extra utility there. Okay, they should have like definitely cycled that spell bomb end of turn, I think, with no cards in their hand. What are my thoughts on Felia? So Felia, I'm trying to think if I can think of a MH2 card that would fit this category. Maybe nothing off the top of my head, but maybe I should say this. Sometimes when Modern Horizon sets come out, there's a card that you're looking at during spoiler season, and a card from the Modern Horizons would be good in current Modern, like Modern before spoiler season is done or whatever. I think I'm just gonna play this first. So you become like excited for a card because you think it's gonna be good in Modern because it would be good in like pre MH rotation or whatever. Felia, I think, fits this category. I think Felia is an example of a card that like would have been pretty good before Modern Horizons 3 came out. But Modern Horizons 3 came out and there just was like a million better red and white 1 and 2 drops, right? There's just many better options. You deck tech for Chromis. Like a Johnny, Guide, Pride, Amtraptor, Flage, are just all better red and like white, like little cheap cards. And so it's just tough for Felia to fit into a deck. White Orchid Phantom is also pretty good. Oh, Chromis. I haven't got around to working on this. I will say, when I consulted on Assassin's Creed, I was very excited to cast Cassandra and to and to put the Spear of Leonidas into play, I was stoked. Sorry, I'm just thinking about how. So they're gonna sack the Spell Bomb. This will kill my Wight of the Reliquary, and I'm going to lose the Gravecrawler to get the Bloodghast. Doing a bog them to play around Flage. I already have one Nurturing Peatland in play. Conversely, I could get Spymaster's Vault. I could just get another Peatland. I think I'm just going to get another Peatland. I've been excited for this. I haven't actually sat down to work on it. I have heard chatters say that like the deck has been good for them. But then I take a look at the deck and it looks like this. I'm like, I don't know about that. I agree. I want to try to play Fervent Champion. I would say Recruiter of the Guard like cannot possibly be playable in this deck, I would think. Recruiter of the Guard just isn't a good card in general. And like this is a deck that is playing a million other 3s. Like you have 6 other 3-drops. You also have 0 Flages in your Boros deck. That's probably incorrect. You need to, if you're going to play 4 White Orchids in the main, you need to have 4 Flagstones in the main. It's like a pretty easy rule of thumb, I guess. I would be interested in playing 4 Cassandra, 2 Spear just to test. I don't think I'd be playing Solitude or Ephemerate in the shell. I would be playing Guide Pride in the shell, not Ragavan. I might be playing 23 lands instead of 22. Oh, they top decked another Bowmaster, which is so good against my Peatland grabs. So annoying. Do you play Captain over Recruiter? Yeah, you play Captain over Recruiter. You should, like, Recruiter is not playable, basically, unless you're playing, like, Aether Vial and or Pearl Medallion. If you're playing, like, this really big build. And even those decks aren't good, but... Give me a second. I'll give some more thoughts. Tantrum with the 8 months. Vinshare at the 18. Thank you so much. But let's pivot over to the backup deck. 2-3 into 3-2. Nothing too incredible, which is maybe like the review for this archetype. But I think you can work on it. I think you can play it to a positive win rate. I've been liking the deck off stream. It's again nothing amazing, but somewhat playable. Yeah, I played Tax Collector in that kind of Recruiter shell, and that deck is very. We have a really fun shell with that card, but it just ain't all that good. Okay, backup deck.